looking forward to, it's not you. Oh, that's part of it. There's still people talking. Andy, lead us in prayer. Will you pray with me? Loving God, you have given us another day of life, another opportunity to experience the beauty of your world, of your creation, another opportunity to see familiar faces or even make new friends. Thank you for the ways that you have blessed us, the ways that you continue to bless us, and thank you for the opportunity to be among folks who are like-minded in that we have some desire to make a difference in our community, in fact, around this world. Thank you for that great privilege you give us. Thank you for this food that sustains our bodies and your spirit that sustains our souls. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Let's join in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Nancy, are we going, who we got? Tom's up here. Rescue. I don't know this song.
I confess, I don't know this song, but it says when you're smiling, we're all smiling today because Wayne Underwood's back. I do know the first two lines of it.
That's all you have.
We're on our own. Okay, so we'll follow Nancy next.
When you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. When you're laughing, the sun comes shining through. But when you're crying, you will bring on the rain to stop your sighing. Be happy again, keep on smiling, 'cause when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you.
All right.
Thank you, Nancy. Sergeant Orchard said, do we have any visiting Rotarians?
Mr. President, we would like to have a
Right. Do we have any guests of Rotarians today? Jennifer, welcome back. Wait.
Listen, I've got my friends Gary and Eddie.
David.
I got DJ Weapon X, Officer Lewis Mama.
And we have one other guest with us today. Would you introduce yourself to us?
My name is Dreama Morris, and I grew up here in Thomasville, and I'm a travel agent.
Well, welcome, Dreama. Any other guests? Okay, any announcements from the floor?
I placed a flyer on the table announcing our need for fund distribution volunteers. How many folks in the room have participated in that process in the past? Awesome. We would love for you to return and volunteer, but we'd also like to see some new faces. Essentially, you are assigned to a panel, and you help review nonprofits who are applying for our funding. It's not a huge time commitment. Really just training on October 8th, about an hour and a half, and then we do site visits to see programs and action on each of the floor. I am hopeful that somebody at your table will take the flyer on the table back to your place of business and in your church, or share it with a friend and encourage them to get involved. We would really appreciate it. Our funds are community raised, and we need some funds now. Thank you.
Thank you.
How's everybody doing? So myself, Dan, and a couple of people are on the Underwood Appearance Board, which is comprised of the Andersons. They own Thomasville Cemetery. We have two officers that are having cancer right now. Adam Sarantini is a former Army. He's been with us for about 8 years now. He's battling aggressive colon cancer. And Victoria S. is one of our dispatchers from New Jersey. She's been with us for about 3 years now. She's battling an aggressive bladder cancer. They ran Army 6 times, so we're putting on a fundraiser pretty much. So we have a 3 and 8 smoker that we're doing. One ticket is $25, 5 is $100. So for a chance to win that. And then we have a 50-50 raffle. One is $5 and 5 is $20. If you would like to do that, you can see what's that St. James House spot out of the cemetery. You don't have to be present to win it. So I know a lot of people who say, I don't want to stay there all day. If you win it, there's a point. We have tickets at the table, so green ones, yellow ones are 50-50, and the green ones are for the egg. It's a very nice smoker. I can show you the picture of what it looks like and everything like that. Like I said, around all the 6 times, I'm going to try to help you on the best we can.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Any other announcements?
The tourism board is really excited to announce Everybody's Night coming up with Brayton Hall on September 26th, the night before Everybody's Day. We are looking for corporate sponsors, so if your company is looking for some exposure, we do a whole lot online, a whole lot of social media, a whole lot of emails. We have a spot on the digital billboard in town, and then we have around 3,000 people or so come out for the event on that Friday night. So mark your calendars, make sure to come out that night. And if your company wants some exposure, let me know. I've got some information here for you.
For Everybody's Day, Everybody's Night, Everybody's Day, two wonderful, wonderful events in town. We hope you all make it out for those, both of those. Any other announcements? Do want to share congratulations to really to our city and to some folks who are in our room who have worked really hard for this. But you may have seen the news that Thomasville was officially adopted as a North Carolina Main Street. And so that's really exciting. That's not come without a lot of hard work and preparation. So Tammy, Michael, among many others who've worked so hard, thank you for your work. That's working. A couple of other announcements that we have. District Membership Summit is coming up in August 21st at Star Mountain Country Club. It's a great event, a Rotary event, where you get to meet a lot of other Rotarians and learn a lot. I have found that every Rotary event that I've been to has been wonderful, no matter what it was focused on. But we would love for some of our members to join us for this. I know that Kim and Corey and myself are already planning to go. David? Doug, okay. And so if you're interested, see Kim or I, and we'll get you some info. The other announcement we have, you may have seen an email this past week, but our club has been invited to come and celebrate the grand opening ribbon cutting for the new Health and Wellness Center at Thomasville Medical Center. And that is coming up on July 22nd at 10 a.m. And they are asking for an RSVP. So the email that I sent out has this in it as well, or if you want to really quick scan that code in the corner there, you can as well. But also, like I said, the email I sent has the info for RSVP. Okay, any other announcements? All right, well, let's split the pot. Candace, come lead us in there.
Jason, while she's doing that, just a reminder, the board meeting is tonight.
Yes.
Did you say that already?
I did not.
Okay.
Board meeting tonight at 5:15, and you will receive an email with the Zoom link for that here.
we collected $90 today, so that is $1,752 in the pot, 876 if you win, and the last 3 digits are 452.
Lives another day. Okay, well, we're going to do a moment here that we're going to start incorporating very regularly into our meetings that I'm calling the network nudge. And part of Rotary, part of the focus of Rotary is networking. It's one of the hearts of what we do as a club. And so I want to make sure that we are really focusing and giving opportunities for that as well. And so each week, we'll be inviting an opportunity. Sometimes it will be someone who's already a Rotarian who's in this room sharing a little bit about themselves and the business or nonprofit that they work with. Or sometimes I'm going to be inviting you individually to bring a guest, someone in the community who we can come and spotlight and allow them to share about themselves and their business as well. So something we'll be doing weekly. This week, Tony Hyde is going to come and share a little bit about himself. Tony, come.
Thank you, Jason. Jason called me or texted me last night, I think, and asked me if I would do this today. And so I said, well, sure. So I don't really have anything prepared to say, but I'll just kind of tell you about myself and a little bit about our business. But I was born and raised in Underwood, North Carolina. I have 2 children, 2 stepchildren, 4 grandchildren, and 1 on the way. And I have been in Thomasville for 36 years, in my 36th year now, and I looked around this room earlier today, and there were several of you I met very, very quickly when I came here. Robert Green was one, David was one, Hope, I met Hope just soon after coming here. She was 4 years old or something. Very, just a child. Larry, I met my second day here, I think. It was just a number of people, but I quickly fell in love with Thomasville, and I love this town. I've always loved it. Took a job a number of years ago, moved away, and I had no ties here in Thomasville. And I had an opportunity to come back here, and literally this was the only place I wanted to come back to, because I did not like where I moved to. And so I came back to Thomasville with plans never to leave again. And so J.C. Green will be picking me up one day and taking me to my next place, I guess, or for my body anyway, this next place here. So I love this town, but I was a banker for a number of years, around 20 years here, and I built a great client base. And I remember telling clients years ago, I'm getting you in debt now, but one day I'll get you out of debt and I'll make you rich. And so that.
Sorry, that's my fault.
Oh, and I didn't know how I would, but I knew I would be able to send them to someone who could help them and who could educate them on how to invest and prepare for the future once they got out of debt. So several years ago, I had an opportunity to become a financial advisor with a firm out of Greensboro called Strategic Advisory Partners, and went to work for them, and had known all those guys for a number of years. And I've just picked up a ton of my bank clients that I had through the years, and I still help with a number of clients today, and helping them structure debt and things like that. So I enjoy that part of it. And now I take clients of all ages. In fact, my newest client is 18 years old. My second newest client is 97 years old. And so it's got all age ranges. And I have a number of young people. And the young people I have are so eager to save and invest. And so it's been really cool to work with them. I have a passion for them because they've got to get a start somewhere. And so it's really worked great for them. And but I help people with succession planning, planning for retirement, managing their 401ks. We manage 401ks where they are in place with your company. I also set up 401k plans for companies and manage those, operate those, work with accountants, work with insurance folks and attorneys, and trying to work with our clients and help our clients have a place to go to get all the services that they need. But it's just it's a fun job. I enjoy it. It's helping people, and I enjoy that. I enjoy people. And most of my clients are the Thomasville, High Point, Lexington area. I have several in Greensboro. I have some in Chicago. I have some in Florida, Texas, but they're main parts right here. So it's a neat job.
Tony, will you share just a little bit about the model that strategic advisory partners, kind of operates under, and how that might be different than other investment?
Yep. We're fiduciaries, and fiduciaries we have to do everything in the client's best interest without any financial increase or value to us. We have to do everything to the benefit of the client. And we're not a buy and hold folks. We do everything with a flat fee, so we invest monthly. We sell typically monthly, we buy monthly. And by doing that, we say that we sit on the same side of the table as the client. And so we advise our client fully for everything that they need and everything that they have to prepare for the future, where they need wills or trust or anything like that set up. We do it in their best interest without our interest to be concerned with. And so our feeling is that if you do what's right for the client, you never have to worry about yourself. So the money comes. So that's the way we do it, and it works so far. I enjoy that part of it. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Tony. Certainly, if you need those services, Tony is the man to call. All right, well, we'll go on with our program now. Wayne, will you come and lead us in that? I think I'm going to hang up here with you and help fire some video.
Thank you, sir. You can bring up the first slide there, don't you? Thought we'd start with something good here. All right, I'm here. Yeah.
Played earlier. This is the way it goes.
If it doesn't, then I'll just tell you what she's saying.
You may have to do this.
All right. Do y'all recognize who this is? It was Patty Loveless, and she had a song that came out quite a few years ago, and it's called "Life's About Changing." And in it starts off. She says, through the back window of a '59 Chevy, I watched my best friend Jamie slowly fading away. I kept on waiting till I couldn't see her, and in my tears, I asked my mom why we couldn't stay. And Mother whispered softly, "Time will ease your pain. Life's about changing. Nothing ever stays the same." How do I go to the next slide? I wanted to start with that because my life has been going through changes, as you all know. I've been a resident here pretty much all my life. I was like 1 or 2 when I traveled around some when my dad was in the Air Force, but I really don't recall those years except for the years we stayed with my grandparents up in the mountains while he was stationed in Labrador for offending somebody. And if you're in the Air Force and you offend somebody, they send you to a place like Labrador. How do I move to the next? Just tap or good when it comes in. All right. Okay, so down here. All right. Kim told me that I should call this program abandonment. And, in a way, this photo here, I think, exemplifies that. I got a text from my cousin who's living in my uncle's old house across the street. And she said, I walked over and, just checking out the things and looked at your dog, Colleen, and I could tell she was just so, sorry, and she was just so lonely. She said, I don't think they're giving her the attention that you do. I don't know that she gets to get out and play. And, you see the picture there over on the right. She doesn't look happy. And so, this is a change that was very difficult for me. Every day we go for a walk. And every day she'd paw at my leg, didn't want to get rubber on the head. And so, I miss her and I think she misses me. For 65 years at least, this was my view every day coming home. Whether it was in the back seat of the Valiant station wagon. If anybody ever remembers the Valiant, that was a car all of its own. But coming down the hill there, past my aunt and uncle's house first, and then we get to the bottom of the hill there, and the drive was on the right, which used to be a drive that just went out through to nothing. Although actually that was the old road way back when. And then we pulled in at the next mailbox there, and that's where I lived until I got married and we built the house that we're in right now. There at the end of the driveway, there's still a little concrete pad, and that's where my dad had a little country store. And I don't think he ever made any money there, but he made a lot of friends. They sold gas and sold some groceries. And my biggest memory of that was during summertime, I'd go down there and help him put things on the shelves and such. And we'd always have a break. And for our break, we had sardines and crackers. And I don't think I'd eat a sardine now with a gun on it. But back then, that was the best thing for me. My roots go in a lot of different directions. And oddly enough, I was looking at our genealogy page that was put together. And my great-great-great-grandfather was actually born in Franklin County, which is about 15 miles north of where I'm at now. So I actually moved back to an area where we have roots. And there's a community called Underwood community down there. So I'm sure that there are still some Underwoods that would be somewhat connected to me there. But they're both, him and his wife, they're right down at Pleasant Hill Cemetery now. And they used to have the Underwood Heckler reunion there every year. I don't know, I think family reunions have kind of gone the way of the past. Not many families do that anymore. And it's a shame because, you lose these connections. My dad knew everybody in the family. And I'm not sure I could pick out anybody in the family outside of my immediate family. Across the road from our house was my grandfather's house. And my dad and his brothers and sisters, they were all born there in that house. And that was the norm back then. We lived at the bottom of the hill. Back here. We lived at the bottom of the hill, and at the top of the hill were our rich neighbors. I'm coming in here. I don't know if people remember Guilford Dairy. My grandfather had a small dairy there, and he had maybe 20 cows. Every day the Guilford Dairy truck would pull up down there and load up whatever milk they got. Up at the top of the hill at our rich neighbor's house, then they had hundreds of cows. And so they'd actually send a tanker truck in there, whereas they sent a small tanker at our house. I don't recall recall ever interacting with the Finches. We did interact with the people that ran the farm for them, because we go up there and we buy hay and do things like that. This is a photo which actually is hanging at Whitmore High School, excuse me. Now, this is the old Whitmore School. If you look at the photo, then I've got a white arrow going to that scruffy kid there in the front row, and that's my grandfather. And the black arrow to the guy on the top is my great uncle Willie Underwood. And I don't know if you recall the program we did on him. He was the last American killed from Outland in World War I. This photo is probably 1905, 1906, somewhere along there. But if you look at the photo, then you would recognize the faces if you put names to them. I was given this photo and a key. And I've wrote some copies. They're on the table back here in the back if you want to look at it. But there's lots of prominent names in there. Lots of prominent names. If you look at this, there's Watfords, Millers, Underwoods weren't that prominent. Royals, Kennedys, Owens, or actually Bowers, the Finches. There's Brown Finch, Lambeths. A lot of the local names are there going to that school. And so, it's just another piece of history. And you're welcome to look at that. I ran some copies and nothing back here. I also have this is one of my lesser known relatives. He was one of Dad's cousins on the Thomas side of the family. And he was a NASCAR driver. He was actually killed on his way to a race. And he's buried down in Tabernacle Cemetery right now. I don't know what to say about this one. This was 1979. You kind of tell by the outfits it is. But that's me and my bride on our wedding day. And that's really where we began our life together, I think. We left there and went straight to the house which Mom and Dad had us build there on Finch Farm Road. And that's where we remained until this recently. There are lots of things I miss. I miss the views that we have at home. God blessed us with a piece of property that it seemed like every day there was a beautiful sunset. Here's just a couple. And looking out the drive, to me that was just a beautiful piece of property. And I'm thankful to live there. And I'm thankful also for the things that happened while I was there. My older son, he got married, and they had a grandchild. And they were living in an apartment up in North End High, paying $1,200, $1,400 a month. And my mother recently passed, and I said, why don't y'all move into her house? You could pay me $500 a month and save a whole lot of money. And so that's what they did. And it was such a blessing because then I had my little grandson, Noah, and he was out the drive. I mean, he was like 150 yards away all the time. He's probably the last of our grandchildren that will get to take a bath in an iron tub. This is one of my favorite photos of him. And Edith took this one, and she said, Nolan's looking out the window, waiting for you to come home. I think we all know what it's like to be loved, but to me, that's being loved right there. We got to spend a lot of good moments with them. Here's Edith showing him how to make biscuits, him catching his first fish, climbing his first tree. And this one is one of my favorites as well, I think. He loved my tractor, so I got one for him down there at St. Farm. It was a little pedal job. I took this photo and I sent it in to Farm and Ranch magazine, and we actually got posted in the magazine in one edition there. And he liked tractors so much. This is us over at Joe Moore's Tractor Sales. We went over there one day and he said, on every tractor in the lot. He liked helping with the garden. Here he is out there in the bean tunnel. But he was a kid that always enjoyed doing things. He liked going to the grocery store with me. And here he is after he decided he couldn't wait to have some blueberries. It didn't work out too well for him. points in time. And this one is one where he had gotten out of the little pool thing, and he stepped out on the concrete, and there's his footprint. And probably 3 minutes later, it's gone. And that's kind of the way it is with life. Sometimes, unless you take the time to look at things and enjoy them for what they are, they can be gone in just a moment. I'm very thankful for the Thomasville community. I worked at Cherry City Supply over here, and I've got a picture of Billy here in a few minutes, for 42 years. And I really never felt like a Thomasville person, even when I was working right there, until I got involved with Rotary. And here, D. Stokes got me involved in the feeding ministry. And so, I became part of Thomasville because of people like you. Edith, I'm glad she's not here to see this one. To me, this is one of my favorite pictures as well. My mother loved these little flowers called Johnny Jump Ups. And she planted them all, and the bad thing about them is if you plant one, next year you got 1,000 of them. And so I come to Edith and laid down there and I took a photo. Cherry City Supply, like I say, I worked there for 42 years. It was a good opportunity for me. I'm thankful to the Myers family for giving me the opportunities they did. And so, when we talk about life's changing, that was another big change for me. To go from working someplace for that length of time and then leaving, I felt like I was leaving family. And I still have contact with quite a few of them, but it's not the same because, really, your job, you probably spend as much or more time with them as you do with your own family. I miss my bees. Where I moved to, it's a one-street HOA neighborhood. And I asked them about it, and they said, no, we don't think that would be a good idea. So, but my son, he's been working on a little landscaping business, and so one of his clients has bees, and she said, you might be coming up here and help set some up too. So I may have an opportunity to do that. I'm hoping to do.
We miss your bees too.
I already said it, but I miss the dog collie. Every day, unless it was pouring rain, we'd go for a walk. And so here we are in happier times when the snow was on the ground, and she's waiting on me. I miss the opportunities and the things we did here as Rotarians. I miss some of the Rotarians that are in this photo that are no longer here. You think about what we do as a club. We come in here and we eat, of course, but we do a lot of things in the community. And this was one of them, the feeding, I guess, a pre-feeding Thomasville kind of thing. But that's another moment in time for me that I really enjoy. I miss the fellowship that we've had together. Like this one. We interact together, not just as Rotarians, but as families together with Rotarians. One thing that I don't miss is the phone books. I do miss, for those that don't know, we used to deliver phone books every year as part of that was our big fundraiser. And then the phone book got to be about that thick and they quit doing it, they just made it. But I don't miss the doing it, but I do miss doing it with y'all. Because, we've had some good times doing that. I miss my hometown hero, Jerry. I met Jerry here. He was working here at the Loans Club, and when things went different for him here, then he went to work with me at Cherry City Supply and worked with us there for quite a few years. And then when I got involved with CCM, I conned Jerry into riding with me one day to help pick up groceries. And now what I was doing was training my replacement. And so now Jerry, I think he's one of the keys over there at CCM. And he's picking up food, 2 or 3 times a week now? 2, okay. And so, but I do miss him that day. I miss my train car. I took this photo outside the post office one day, and I thought, where is the gang that painted my name's kind of on the side of the train car? I people that do things for other people with really expecting nothing in return. Andrew, back during COVID, I asked Andrew, I said, you know, our anniversary is rolling up and we really can't go out to eat anywhere. Could you set up a table or something for us and let us eat there? And I said, you know, just let me know what it's going to cost. And he said, it's not going to cost anything. He said, you know, you all show up, I'll have the meal here. And, you know, he was our waiter, he played music. I mean, it was just really a great evening. And, you know, to have people like that in your community that are willing to do, expecting nothing in return, that's a blessing. I miss Walmart down in Thomasville. Only in Thomasville Walmart will you probably see this one. This guy was in line in front of me, and he's got an iguana on his back. And he proceeded to tell everybody around him that this was his PTSD iguana, and that he's smoking pot too, and he doesn't care who knows about it. But, you know, you go to Walmart anywhere, you don't see stuff, but I don't think you'll see this. Another great photo, I think, of a skyline. This was before the Feeding Thomasville chili cook-off one day. And I was out there setting things up, and I looked up and I saw the rainbow, and I snapped this shot. And I thought, you know, that's just such a pretty picture of Thomasville in itself. And I miss the chili cook-off. I'm planning to be here again this year. I'm going to be cooking with David Snap's kids. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully Phil Griffin will not pay off the judges and drop them in. We'll see what happens. I miss CCM. We did a lot of things there. And I really enjoyed seeing it going from being really a dumpy building to something that's really nice now. And it's a great facility. I miss the food. You know, Wake County, Raleigh, Wake Forest, tons of choices. But, you know, they're not the choices we have here. You know, go around, we have Sir Pizza, we have the Sunrise, we have Rosamades. And, you know, these are places that have real food that, you know, if you've eaten a long time, you really want this kind of food. And when one day she said, you know, where can we get some good country style steak around here? And so I started asking everybody. Nobody knows anything. And so I thought, well, I know who I can ask. So I'm down at the convenience center, which is what they call the dump. And I asked the guys that were running the dump, I said, where can you get some good country style steak around here? And so they said, here you go. So we went, that's where we went the next Thursday to the Hometown Cafe. It's like Sunrise, where they have a set special every day of the week. And it was great food. So that's my recommendation or my suggestion to you. If you ever move anywhere, you go somewhere, go to the dump and ask the people questions there, because they will know. They know the community. I definitely miss the barbecue. Kind of a funny one. I got involved in the Civil Air Patrol unit down there, and I asked a fellow who lived in Bunn, which is one of the little local communities, I said, where can you get some good barbecue down here? And he said, well, you're from Thomasville, Lexington area? I said, yeah. He said, well, you can't. And, you know, I did actually get some good barbecue from the local Masonic Lodge, but everybody down there has quite coarse chopped coleslaw. I don't think there is such a thing as red slaw in here in North Carolina. Some of the things I've got to do, though, since I've moved, is I actually got to meet the food line. I never knew one existed, but I was there at the food line in Rollsville, and there he was. So I thought, well, you know, I'm going to get my photo with this guy. I get to be around the grandkids, and my son has turned into quite a gardener, which my mother would love, because she was a gardener. But you can see by the photo here, you got 3 kids with 3 totally different reactions to working in the garden. We get to be around our youngest grandson, Simon, which I think you can tell from these photos, he's full of himself. He is definitely a different child than the other 2. But by being closer to there, we're getting to be closer to him, and that's a blessing. So And, just being able to spend time with them. Here's our granddaughter Reese at her dance recital. Here's our grandson Nolan, who is too short to ever be a basketball player, but he's determined to be one. My wife Edith and Reese at her preschool graduation. I mentioned Civil Air Patrol, from the unit down there, and it's a large group. They have a plane, which most Civil Air Patrol units in the state don't. This one actually has a FLIR, which is a forward-looking infrared, so they can use it to find people on the ground for heat. And this is where we live now. Like I said, it's a one-street HOA. There's 16 houses on the street, so it's not a big neighborhood. All the lots are like an acre, so you got just enough to be trouble, but not enough to really do anything. But looking at things there, that's the front of the house, and that's a sunset. And so, I think here again, God has blessed me with beauty no matter where I am. And, my mother always said, you should bloom where you're planted. So, that's what I'm attempting to do now. I mentioned earlier about missing the bees. There's kind of an old story about talking to bees. And when good things happen or when bad things happen, beekeepers often go out and talk to the bees and tell them. And this is sort of a little story of it right here. I've got to tell it to the bees. I'll let you read that. It's really a Celtic tradition, so I've been told, where they believe that bees are linked to the spirit world. And when you're telling the bees something, they will relay it to the spirit world, and the spirit world will speak back through them to you in some way. When Queen Elizabeth died, the little beekeeper, actually, it was part of his job to go out and tend the bees. Try to close with something. And I don't think our video is going to play, which is a shame. We have any Pink Floyd fans in here? I don't believe that. They have a song in there. Does anybody, and one of the verses, does anyone here remember Vera Lynn? Remember how she said that we would meet again some sunny day? And that's what I was going to close with. There's some distance between us now, but I do believe we will meet again in some way or fashion. I'll be back here for the chili cook-off. I look forward to what are you doing here? I look forward to remaining active in the club as I can, and that's something else I didn't mention. There is a Rotary Club in Bowlesville, which is like 5 minutes away. I've not visited. And the reason for that is that I don't think it's fair to them to go and visit and ask to be part of their doings and not be part of their club. And I really want to remain a member of this club. So any advice you give me on that, I appreciate it. And maybe I should just go and tell them how it is and see if they just need hands. That's it. I really appreciate the chance to come back and speak to y'all. We will meet again.
Wayne, thank you for sharing. And also, just thank you for your leadership and service in this club over the years. When I came in, it was very clear your influence, and even over the times, just encouragement that you've given me. So we're grateful, and we're lucky. We're lucky that you elected to stay with us even from afar and continue to lead and serve things like the chili cook-off and other things. So thank you. Well, that is all that we have for today. Let's stand together as we close out. We said it so often as Rotarians, our heart is to serve. all of our hearts. And so, again, just another challenge as you leave here today. Leave this place with eyes that are looking to see the needs of the community, ears open to hear them, and a heart ready to serve, and in all the things that we think, say, or do first.
It's the truth. It's your very all concern. Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?